And, well, we switch to Conquest here, so no wonders in this game. Oh, game number 1. And first we have a look at is Kuvar at the bottom. That's first of the locust on Lutz side, and what's the starting position? Ah, he was forced to go for the chickens because he doesn't see any hunt so far, and right now he discovers the rhino. That's the forward one for him, and well, he can't really switch there because he would be risking being low on food early on, and especially when he doesn't have enough willies to tackle the rhino without losses. Anyway, Mad Conqueror is the next one from Lance, also gathering from chickens. How's hits forward? Did he discover something? Yeah, nice herd of giraffes right there, together with gold and his front DC. That is kinda awkward position because it is closed off from him by all this wood, so it will be easily accessible for opponents, not easily accessible for him. So could be interesting and important later on. The next one to look at is Flash, who is gathering from this nice double herd of gazelles and zebras, and also we see some giraffes at the back. Might be a bit more of them, quite probably on Savannah, so we will see soon enough, I guess. At the front of his base, that's front DC of him and Tadao, respectively. It doesn't really matter, it's kind of similar position. And there's a sweet spot of giraffes, and that's very close to Tadao, so if he wants to go adventurous as an Ege, he can. At his base though, he is right now gathering from double herd of his own with zebras and gazelles. That's pretty sweet. And next one is a wee Greek now, the Hades, which is kind of unusual. Not getting chickens, so he is gathering also from double herd. That seems to be the theme of this map, a double herd of gazelles and zebras. But at his back, oh yeah, pretty sweet. Some extra giraffes and extra gold as well, together with a relic, which is a better town center population. Alright, that's a nice one. Last from GVTs and all of those guys is green, that's Gotheon. He was gathering from chickens that switched out into this herd of giraffes. Okay, so that's a good reason to switch. But otherwise, this seems to be the only one, but could be worth the effort because he's a Loki, so why not? He has the mobility needed. Anyway, this is just hyenas. Oh, double elephants between green and blue. Now this might be very hotly contested because that's a whole lot of food. Alright, so villagers kill animals in single shot. That could come in handy against those elephants or the rhinos. So that's not really bad. And double herd here. And another extra elephants for GVTs. So this map seems to be kind of better for GVTs. Oh, this is sweet. Just as I said that, I discovered all this hunt right there. Pretty nice. We are at 3 minutes. Scouting is going quite nicely. Patch of giraffes. And Red is already walling himself in. Yeah, he'll probably go for standard fast heroic, I would think. We'll see. And right now, Greek now is building temple. So he is looking to advance in like a minute or some such. Now he's looking for Gotheon. Just now building temple, so yeah. Just about time, and similar could be said for Kuvar. And well, Mad Conqueror as well, as you can see. But the only one advancing is Flash right now. He is 50% there, so that's pretty sweet time. That's like 410, sub 410, so that's going to be pretty nice indeed. And well, who will he raid? I'm not sure, but he won't be having a very nice time of it because Greek now is walling himself in quite nicely, and I think he will soon extend right here when he finishes gathering from those zebras. The only one who isn't walling is green. I think he might be thinking about that, because if he is not, yeah, well, the game might become difficult. That's the villager's relic, and well, this is from blue, and this is from green, so yeah, it's kind of similar as well. Not really any bad map for each of these teams. Back gold is also pretty sweetly placed for all of those teams. Yep, so nobody can really complain. Yeah, we can see some extra save hunt at the back from those rhinos. So if things go awry for green, you will have quite something on the back to rely on. That probably angered him for some reason. Who are you? What is your name? Icicle Dancer. Okay. Anyway, though, we can see that Tadao is doing quite a decent job of walling his towers, protecting them from early raiding. Yeah, this is pretty sweet as well. And he is definitely not leaving anything to chance, and this is why he is number 2 at the 1v1 ladder right now. You can see first raiding from Kuvar coming into the opponent's bases, where green is trying to do the same, so that's just an exchange right there. And will he retreat? Or continue? Yeah, he decides to retreat. That's probably the better choice here. We Greek now through Athena, and that's almost everybody up. But for Tadao, which is kinda expected since he's the Eggy here. So, first battle from Kuvar and Gotheon, but Gotheon doesn't really have enough units. He just has to wait a bit because those two guys are building houses as he would be housed otherwise. Yellow is joining blue right there, so that's going to be a double. And you can see that Vigrik now is taking second TC, which might not be the greatest of ideas, because right now, especially when he's gathering at the front here, he is not ready to help his teammate who is being doubled. He's not prepared for that at all, so this could be pretty bad. If yellow and blue coordinate this properly, this could be pretty short game for the green. Well. Though Gotheon is very close to his base, so he is having the advantage of his Hersers coming up sooner. But yep, this is at least one help from those extra guys, and I'm looking if maybe green will be upgrading towers. He probably should, because he now knows that he will be under attack here. Come on, click onto the tower. Yeah, nothing, and well, how is he looking? Finally building some stables here. That's kinda unexpected. As in Hades, I would kinda expect Toxots, but anyway, whatever works for you. And if it works for you, alright. Purple, though, at the same time, is trying to somehow raid Tadao, which is kinda a weird idea because of all those towers and the way he is. Well, he's being walled by buildings very nicely. He's doing a very decent job. And we can expect the advance to heroic pretty soon, yeah? This will probably be prosperity soon. Mad Conqueror just now pausing for a moment, which gives us time to look about the map for at least some time. Here in spring here, okay, these guys are being spied, and the same as these guys. He's returning back to some forward hunt. These forward hunters from Teal had to retreat. That's kinda costly. And he is at the same time being attacked by this blue army. And well, even though he discovered the towers, researched the towers, it won't really do any good unless he has the boiling pitch, I think it's called, that deals damage to melee units that are right adjacent to him. Purple at the same time raiding around, still trying to find some willies to kill, but yeah, it's not like he's going to really discover anything around red. He's playing the standard, and well, not really standard, very above standard by his nice walling, and this is it. This is prosperity, extra guys on gold, Neft is clicked in, so yeah, here we go. And pretty sweet double raid in here from Mad Conqueror, and together with his teammate Flash, and Vigrig took a moment to notice it, which cost him maybe one wheelie somewhere, but yeah, really dead. But really yellow, you should retreat from here. He's trying to single those hurt wheelies, but it's not really going to do enough right there because he's under a lot of fire. So, some damage has been dealt, but it's more about those 14 villagers not gathering for the moment there. At the same time, we can see that blue is pursuing those green ones, because he has a clear line of sight on them. And a bit of yellow was trying to do something in green's base, but not really sure what. But this is a sweet army. This is much more interested in teal's base, where you can see that a bit of yellow and blue is teaming up. Not really too closely, but still, they are trying to do some damage. And right now Taro is through, so where is he going to build his Migdol? Okay, so he's at least trying to make sure that this TC is not stolen from him, which is a good play, but Lat Flash is right there. And trying to do something about it. And will they be just in time? Well, they won't. The Migdol is up, and that's a huge problem, because right now the Billies can safely go away when they need and when they are in trouble. Oh, very nice shockwave. And the Lats are definitely not giving up on having a go at these Billies. Okay, so there's at least one gone, and Ancestors to help. Because the purple army somehow tripled. And that was in a position that Tadao wanted to be in. He wants to be able to amass some units before he engages in some serious battle. So, there's the Ancestor giving him time that he needs. And at the same time, what's happening in the middle here? Blue making life difficult for green, and green trying to make life difficult for blue. But blue guys having the first hack, and yeah, that's usually a bad sign for any encroaching army that has to retreat. And you can also see that Mad Conqueror is switching to second TC. Is he maybe trying to... Yeah, he is already going 70% through Bragi. That's pretty sweet play from Lats. Ancestor doing so good job that they actually forced Lats to retreat together with some semblance of red army and also teal one. And even though purple has a lot of units, it's just Turmas, so the advantage is not that clear cut. Anyway, Kuvar is also 50% to heroic. He has quite enough army here in the middle, so he's more or less controlling it. And right now he's hungry for those villies that he has line of sight on. Oh, and green doesn't have enough army here. He doesn't have enough army here at all. Yeah. That's a good one, but this wall will definitely help here. Anyway, Taro is taking his forward TC. Big Greek now was forced to use some restoration because the army was pretty big and he more or less wanted to buy time here. And he is doing so successfully. And once this TC is up, it's double fire and very sweet position. And Tadao now can safely boom to his heart content. Because purple really has nothing against his opponent right now. At this time in the middle, Gothon was able to amass army, or at least consolidate all those bits he had all around, which means that blue is forced to consolidate as well. But will he? Yeah, it just now joins in the battle, but well, how's it looking at the upgrades? Just this, and green, and they're absolutely the same. Yeah, good spawn, but this is not really enough. This is not a good battle for blue. Right now, with flaming weapons, it might be. It might be. And not even teal can help green enough here. But he needs to join the battle even though he will lose, because otherwise those villies are kinda toast. Yeah, they can retreat behind the wall. That's very strong strategical position for him right now, because it allows him to get away safely. But, well, do they get away safely? You can see that right now Lat Flash together with Mad Conqueror are just corralling those villies in, and that's, well, that's sad news indeed, especially when Kuvar was able to get through the wall. And right now, oh my god, that's all full villies, all gold villies dead. Ah, oh my, that's Gotheon like puts back like half of the game, even though he advances into Bragi. That's a horrible deal for him. It's absolutely horrible deal for him. But even though this was a pretty decent play, this allows Tadao to actually amass an army of his own, and since that's a heroic one from Eggy, does he have sound grenades? No, not yet, but it will come soon. He might be able to do a whole lot of damage to his enemies, especially if he decides to raid with some of those chariots. Well, it's a pretty decent battle, but Turmas are good against chariots, so this should be going into Flash's favor a bit. But due to the sheer strength of those agri units, he is forced to retreat right now. Anyway, the battle is still raging at the bottom, where Blue is right now alone. He needs to be joined by the yellow army early, because he can't fight against Gotheon and the teal at the same time. So they really need to back each other up. But still, the position seems to be kinda nice, and if he decides to take this front TC, which might not be the worst kind of ideas, that could be kinda sweet. But right now the battle seems to be switching to the left, where Tadao was hoping to do something with a bit of his army. But right now he's been doubled by Flash and Yellow, and Blue is going there as well, so there's going to be a very nasty triple, and the teammates of Tadao are nowhere near. And yeah, this will be TC down most assuredly, because these guys from the bottom won't be getting there in time at all. Mad Conqueror right now casting flaming weapons. That was a tad premature before they were ready to deal damage, but still they could do a whole lot, because right now this will be a proper 3v3, I think. And Yellow should control his units a bit better, because right now the double is brewing here from Teal and his teammate Green on Blue. Yeah, Yellow definitely needs to help him, but this is a really crucial battle in this whole game, and it's most assuredly going into Lat's way. Right now, some nice maneuvering from Lats that seems to be working out. Vigrik now is kinda dead. Yeah, his army is non-present. Yellow is right in the middle of Tadao's base, trying to build barracks. Well, he succeeds. Well, with mercenaries coming onto the scene, I'm not exactly sure that he can succeed. Right now, I just want to look here. Yeah, that's a lot of red willies, but they are just now discovered by Mad Conqueror, and they have absolutely nowhere to run. And once this army goes there, oh my, that's not good news for Tadao. Vigrik now is through Apollo, but that's not like that's going to help him a whole lot right now. Tadao's front DC is pretty much secured for Lats. And Yellow army is trying to make a dent into those yellow willies, but you can see that Tadao has already amassed enough army to repel this small raid. And at the same time, at the bottom, Green is trying to change the scenario of some of the battles at least. And right now, with his flaming weapons, he definitely will, because Kuvar can't really stand a chance against flaming weapons, and his are already gone. And, well, we all know what those pigs can do, and DC is not the one to stand against that might. So this is pretty good play from Green, who is trying to ease the burden on Red pretty successfully, even though this sweet raiding from Teal is going to cost Red quite some willies if it's done properly. And maybe not all that much, because Underworld Passage is cast right there. Defensively, there's definitely something that GVTs did not want to do, I think. And it's going right from his base, I think. We might see that a bit later. But yeah, it saves Red a lot of willies, so that's a good one right there. Because Tadao needs to have all those willies if he is to boom properly. Anyway, the battle at the bottom of the map is suddenly being turned into kind of a stalemate, because Yellow has finally joined with his teammate, and the flaming weapons are gone. And so even though Gotheon has good units in those throwing axemen, this is a pretty pitched battle. And I'm not sure which way it will be going. Probably some lucky spawn of mythical units is going to decide this battle, if something like that is going to happen. And yeah, well, right now it's going into blue's way, and green decides to save his last units and go into his base back. Okay, these guys were trying to raid something, but right now they are just free pop. It's kind of not ideal. And this guy is having a relic here. Really just kill enemies in a single shot. And he's hiding in the woods. That's kind of fun. Anyway, yellow is securing a 30 scene from Tadao. And together with purple, they are trying to build a forward base. That's not really something that I wanted to see. But his villies are at least safe here. And maybe some extra mining camp could be useful to shorten this the gathering time. And yellow just going to lose those bits of guys. Mythic, nobody yet, so I'm just gonna check. In this interim, you can see that Vigrik now is already at 3 TCs, 80% through Hephaestus, so that's going to be a tough deal for Lats. Are they at least advancing? Yup, Hecate for Flash. And yellow, yellow. Not going anywhere, and blue not going anywhere as well. Okay, a huge battle here though at Tadao's base right now. And we also see plenty good power being cast. I was for a moment thinking that it might be Tartarian Gate, but still, this is pretty sweet. Heavy hoplites already preparing for the spam of Myrmidons in Mythic. And Teal and Yellow are kinda doing decently, but really the TC fire is too much. And the Myth units are not going to be enough, especially when the black guys are coming into play here. Okay, but anyway, still Mad Conqueror is at 40 Cs with a pretty sweet forward. Purple is trying to build destroyers to help with some siege. But right now, at the back, some nice raiding from Kuvar, who is looking at the minimap securing 30 C and is trying to take Vigrik now a bit down, but Gotheon is doing a good job pursuing him, so not really all that much he can do with this raiding. And Vigrik now already into Titan Gate, and once he starts pumping Myrmidons instead of those hoplites, the days are going to grow darker and darker for Lap. So let's be. So there's some blue blobs at the minimap also. Near gold spot. Okay, they were trying to raid some villies probably, but were repelled by the pursuing army from green that we saw a tad earlier, and right now we can see the first Titan Gate being placed, and that's from Teal. And do we have some god powers? No, absolutely nothing as of yet. Flash though is also going for Titan Gate, and might drop it right away. So that should be like 1 versus 1 for the Titans, so not really any advantage to either side. We'll see a bit later. Right now you can see the TC is a lot 343, whereas GVT is 322. So they should really do something about it, especially when there's one free TC at the front for green. Right now he's trying to build it, but there's a big line of sight for Kuvar. So, sorry, he won't be taking this TC, and that's more probably going to go Kuvar's way. All the while, this battle is going into, well, Lat's favor, because those destroyers are able to get near the TC. Because there's a lot of priests, a lot of archers, and, well, just some hoplites, which are not all that great against land units, or rather infantry units. I'm just waiting for those Myrmidons when they start to crop up. Anyway, Kuvar is a mythic. And he has just cast Nidhogg at this Titan Gate. That's a pretty sweet play, because that will allow him to kill some willies, most probably. But Chiron here. Yeah. That's not what the Nidhogg wants. But still, with a bit of micro, this could be quite damaging for Vigrik now, because he could lose a lot of willies right there. Yeah, so he decides he needs to retreat and build another day. And that's the correct decision, because it would be really bad. Anyway, huge battle continuing at the Tadao's base. Heavy Toxots, still no upgrades. Still no upgrades, that could cost them. You can see that purple is already preparing some, yellow at least the basic ones, and how's it looking for green? Or rather, red is the last color. Also no upgrades whatsoever. Interesting. But lots definitely mean business here, and they want to building spam their way into victory, which is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all, and you can see that green was somehow at Tadao's base, and at the same time, that's not a great idea, because it allows blue to do all kinds of damage here. And another Nidhogg, this time from yellow, to help in the siege attempts. And well, he also has no upgrades whatsoever. At 23 minutes, it's kinda the time you would expect them. And looking at Mythics, Tadao and Gotham are the only ones that aren't yet in Mythic. And that's kinda why Lad Bees are able to still be pushing at the north. Anyway, Teal is now full on help his teammate at the bottom here. So this means that Blue, even though he is at 40 Cs, he will need to retreat. And right now, Gotham is trying to make sure that he is able to help his teammates at the top, because the battle is not really going all that great. And yeah, you can see that yellow is already trying to use ballistas. And once they have the siege units, this TC could be coming down much more easily from the cover of all those buildings and the archer fire. Teal's Titan Gate is at 76%, and well, this Titan from purple won't be really getting there in time, but still, if he's used properly, he can at least take down this TC. That could be a huge help if he's able to do so. But still, he has to go a long way around, so he might do so, because this still also has a long way to go and meet the Titan, so this TC might actually go down, and that would be really very substantial and absolutely huge help. Yep, here he is, and that's TC down. Even though the Titan will take quite some decent damage from those priests, so it will be weakened, which means that still Titan should survive with some decent life. Still, Lads have enough presence here that they should be able to deal with the Titan nonetheless. In the meantime, let's look at the bottom. How is it looking? Blue has pretty sweet army. Still no upgrades though. And a lot of Teal army is bound here, which is kind of what they don't want, because up there it's Dulats full on, and you can't really defend that 1.5, especially when you're 1 to 2 TCs plus, let's say, half a TC against 4 and 3 TCs. That's just a huge difference. And even though when you use mercenaries, that's not really enough. And this is kinda clever, Big Rick, now that he's waiting here. He's waiting for the Titan to lose more health, so that the Teal survives with some decent life and could potentially somehow get through this yellow and purple forward base. It's not a bad idea. Not really sure right now where this Titan is going, because this map is Conquest, so they can't really build a wonder. So maybe he's hoping to heal it up. Not really sure. Yeah, right now he's just going back, so he just probably felt like stretching his legs and having a stroll. And right now Teal Titan is going to action and try to wreck the armies of purple and yellow here in the attack. So that might be the end of this attack. Is he maybe advancing to Mythic? Well, still not. And he's the last one not in Mythic. But here's an interesting battle between blue and... Well, I don't really see any green units here, so it's just blue and teal. Teal has just lost everything right now, so he will be able to concentrate at the top. And this is where the Purple Titan was going, is destroying... just that light. Destroying TCs. That's not a bad idea, because they need to put the Greek now as the Zeus, or rather, sorry, Zeus, no. But Hades, this is by the way why the Myrmidons are not coming up, which I was expecting earlier. I was still so surprised that he took Hades instead of Zeus, so I just instantly thought that Myrmidons would be coming up, which they of course won't, which is why the Toxos are still coming up and doing a pretty decent job there. Anyway, right now it seems like Tadao is able to take care of himself by himself. It's kinda sweet, with some decent help from Teal, but not really all that much of it. And we can see Red moving all around the map to gather some vital gold, walling himself in from the blue, but blue should kinda be having a line of sight. Yeah, this probably vital wall wasn't finished. And at the same time, you can see that green has lost the TC to those raiders from Kuvar, who is at 4, Gotheon at 1. And some back base, right at the back of Gotheon right there. That's pretty sweet. And once he disrupts the trade route for Vigric now and Gotheon, that's going to be a tough time for the GVTs. Switching to the top here, you can see that Mad Conqueror is trying to do probably pretty much the same thing as Kuvar, close his enemies in. That's a pretty sweet play, not allowing them to do anything. And also these walls in the middle preventing any kind of trade are very sweet, but disrupted from those guys standing here. But idea was there, a pretty good one. Well, you can see the GVT Gotheon is going for gold mining right into the midst of this enemy. Unfortunately for him, they will be aware of this. If they will notice, because this is kind of so surprising that they might not even notice, but still, I don't really think those willies have a long lifespan ahead of them. Those Titans still not meeting up. Right now, they are similar, and here they go. Here they go. So how is it going to go? You can see that the Teal is getting a whole lot of damage extra from those fire giants there. So he's the one coming down sooner, and a lot sooner. And yeah, that was a good play. He ran away, saving one extra shot that this guy would have definitely played. And meteors are coming in into the forward base, where Tadao is trying to make sure that he actually secures this TC. But due to the fact there's a whole lot of buildings, those meteors won't be concentrating on the TC. As you can see, they are shooting all around, but just not on the TC. And they didn't really do all that much damage. They didn't do anything, they just killed the hill fort. That's not a whole lot. You can see legendary Jarl already pretty sweet upgrades. Red having absolutely nothing, just first upgrade on the pierce damage. And Titan, will he be able? Yeah, pretty safely takes down the TC. So that's more trouble for Tadao right now. And we can also switch at the right, where just now looking how he was doing against blue. And even though his teammate Vigric now was helping him quite immensely, well, GVTs recognize that the battle is not to be won here, and they resign. That was a pretty good game from both of those teams, and Lats definitely pushed the advantage they had in the TCs. GVTs were very slow to take TCs, and really, it hurt them very badly. Very, very badly. Good play from Latbees though. At the start, it might have looked like GVTs were coming for the win, but then they waited for it and went for it. Yes, those Goteon willies that where they caught here, those full willies and gold willies at the same time. Goran there, that was like 20 willies that. Just we're gonna look in the post game and see that. At Conqueror having some sweet army, economy and total score as well. Wow. Ah yeah, this is what he did. I was thinking that yellow wasn't really on the map all that much, and this is probably the reason, because he overdid on trade routes. 130 pop. That's just too much. It's just too much. You should, especially as a Norse, you should have at least 10 less, maybe even 20 less, and have a much more army. Anyway, you can see Gotheon got hurt really bad by those willies there. He wasn't able to get into the high at all. Just 53, and just too low for half an hour game. Yeah, no upgrades. I'm kinda surprised that Lats actually were able to push through, even though that's the last. Sorry, that's the next one. Tired and hungry, not thinking straight. And anyway, some interesting stuff here. Not really, but I just want to look at the civilian units. Yeah. Oh wow, this is it. This is the brutal hit there. There he was like 35 willies and dropped to like 20. Yeah, at least 15 willies dead right there. It's absolutely terrible. And you can see that at the end of the game he was able to barely get past the max he had before he hit heroic. That was really very brutal. Good job. 1-0 to Latbees.